My journey begins in the heart of southern Africa, where the rhythms of daily life are deeply intertwined with the land and its creatures. As the sun rises, I can already feel the excitement in the air. Today we're heading into the bush to gather one of the region's most ancient and treasured food sources, the Mopane worm. The Mopane worm is not really a worm at all. It's the caterpillar of a moth that feeds on the leaves of the Mopane tree, a hardy plant that thrives in this dry, unforgiving landscape. To some, the Mopane worm is just another part of the environment, but to the people of this region, it's a vital source of nutrition, an ingredient for survival, and a deep part of their cultural heritage. Nandi. When I was a little girl, my grandmother taught me how to find the worms. They're our food, our medicine. We share them with everyone in the village. It's a tradition passed down from generation to generation. The hunt for the Mopane worm is no small task. These creatures, often no bigger than a finger, can be hard to spot as they blend seamlessly into the branches of the Mopane tree. We follow Nandi into the bush, our eyes scanning for the small telltale signs, the pale green or brown caterpillars, often tucked under leaves, munching quietly. The process requires patience and skill. Mopane worms are seasonal, appearing only at certain times of the year, typically after the rains. It's a delicate dance, one that connects the people to the land in ways that can't be rushed. The worms must be carefully harvested by hand to preserve both their delicacy and the health of the trees. We collect them in baskets, and with each worm we find, there's a shared sense of triumph. The work is hard, but the reward is rich, not just in flavor, but in the connection to a life that is intimately tied to the natural world. Once harvested, the worms must be cleaned and dried before they can be eaten. It's an essential step. Without drying, the worms would spoil quickly. The drying process can take a few days, depending on the heat of the sun. Once dried, the Mopane worms are ready to be cooked. Cooking the worms is as much an art as it is a tradition. In many households, Mopane worms are fried, seasoned, and served with maize or rice, often creating a hearty and savory dish. The worms turn crispy on the outside but retain a tender, almost meaty interior. The flavor, earthy, smoky, and rich with the taste of the land. They're so full of protein, you see. When we eat them, we feel strong. They've always been part of our food. Our grandfathers ate them, and their grandfathers too. What makes the Mopane worm so special isn't just its flavor, but its nutritional value. Packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals, it's an incredible resource in a region where food can be scarce. The Mopane worm is a sustainable source of nutrition, one that can thrive in this harsh environment without requiring the same resources as larger livestock. The Mopane worm is a perfect example of nature's resilience and the ingenuity of local food systems. By harvesting them, communities are not only preserving a critical food source, but they are also contributing to biodiversity and sustainable farming practices. This is food security at its finest. The Mopane worm is more than just food. It's a link to the past, a shared experience, and a story passed down through generations. It's about more than surviving the harshness of the land. It's about thriving with it, embracing its rhythms, and honoring the creatures that call it home. For Nandi, and for so many others in this region, the Mopane worm is a symbol of resilience, of ingenuity, and of the deep connection between the people and the land they call home. It's a food that sustains the body, nourishes the spirit, and connects generations.